The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
For my advice, right? I didn't volunteer anything, did I?
No.
You're not sensitive.
You're fragile.
You're not?
Hey, don't leave, Eddie. Please. You love me, brother?
Well, what do you mean? Of course I love you. You're my kid brother.
Is this the test scene?
Man, you're really something else.
Something else? What?
Forget it.
No, I won't forget it. Just because I love my brother and I'm not afraid to say it. There's something wrong with that? Does that make me sick? The trouble with you is you don't know how to accept love or give it. You would know it if it walked up and shook hands with you. You're the one that's something different.
Much better. Ben, I've got some notes for you. I'll give them to you down at the beach.
Okay.
Good work, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, that'll be all for today. And there's hamburgers and corn on the cob for anyone who's interested.
Good, huh?
Great.
Good. See you down
There'll be
there.
plenty of time for a swim.
Great. Hey, we'll get down there ahead of you. Is the key in the same place?
Same place.
Okay. Let's go, man.
How about you, Sylvia?
Oh, I'd love to, but Mr. Bracken's flying in from Tokyo tonight.
Oh, sorry.
Must say you've done a great job on Ben Jr. He's so much more confident.
I'm very proud of him.
Mr. Bracken's very anxious to see some film on him. He thinks he'll be as big a star as his father, you know.
Well, we're ready to test any time you say.
Now, I have you set up for the 12th.
Perfect. Sylvia, is that what you came to tell me?
No. Kevin Grant has signed Jason Forrest to play one of the leads in the trial of Mr. X.
Jason. Here at the studio.
I didn't know whether to tell you or not.
I guess I've known all along that he'd show up here to do a picture someday. I guess I just didn't want to think about it.
Are you all right?
Sylvia, it's taken me an awful long time to get over him, but yes, I'm all right. Thanks. I'm glad you told me.
Grant's on the phone with publicity. Why don't you go on in anyway?
Go on.
Thank you.
Artie, about that publicity release on Jason Forrest. It's too dignified. I'm talking about the Renaissance man bit. It makes him sound like he's cast in bronze. I know that he's an institution in the theater, and I don't object to the references to his work as a director and a teacher. I just think we should feature more about Jason Forrest, the actor and the man. Jason, love life? Artie, I'm going to set up an appointment for you. Yeah, well, I think you'll get a better idea of the quality of the man if you talk to him. When's good for you? 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? I'll have him in your office at 10 a.m. Right. The room measures 21 by 24 feet exactly, according to the man who laid the carpet.
Oh.
I'm not spoiling your fun, am I, Jason?
Not at all.
Well,
thank you. I was reminded the last time I was out here, 1959, I think it was. I took the measurements of Hitchcock's office.
Oh? How do I stack up?
Seems to me that he had several square feet on you.
I'm still a growing boy.
Good, and we get along, so am I. I expect to keep on growing till they drive a stake through my heart.
Jason, I consider it a great coup to get you for this picture. But I am curious about something.
What's that?
For years, you've made yourself unavailable for pictures.
True.
Then why now, and why us? What grabbed you about the project? Was it the script? The character? Bracken's well-known persuasive charm?
The money?
Well, we're glad to have you with us anyway.
Thank you.
Is there anything I can do to make you comfortable? Anything you need?
Where can I find Laura Dean?
Way to surgery.
Tom, what happened?
Shark bite.
It looks more like a minnow bite to me. There's a first aid kit in the medicine chest.
Hey, what'd you do, man? Swallow a grasshopper?
Oh, you got a great sense of humor, kid.
Hey, what was I talking about?
Something about that new flick.
Oh, yeah, The Hangers On. Do you realize that it grossed $35,000 last week in Boston and topped your father's new picture by 1,200? And not a name in it, just fresh young faces like ours. Hey, where are you going?
For a swim.
I guess we've got time. I'll go with you.
Hi.
I'm looking for Laura Dean.
Follow us.
Laura, you've got company.
Hello, Jason.
Well, you're not surprised.
I'd heard you were at the studio.
California agrees with you. You look marvelous.
Thank you. So do you. I'd forgotten how becoming a New York pal can be.
I hope you don't mind my dropping in.
Of course not. Well, are you pleased with your script? I understand it's quite good.
It's excellent.
I'm glad. There. Shall we sit down?
Oh, thank you.
Laura? We have time for another game before chow?
I think so. I'll call you when I'm ready.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared to find you with a full house.
They're my students from the studio.
I've missed you, Laura.
Would you like a drink?
I've come out here to take you back.
What?
As soon as I finish my part in this picture.
Jason, I've got a job.
You can always get out of it.
I have a contract.
How long have you been in this business? You can always get out of it.
I don't want to get out of it.
I've got a project for you. Really.
Jason, you know, you just can't bounce in and...
There's nothing to keep you here. No one.
No, not the way you mean. I live here now, and I happen to like it.
Laura, I'm asking you to come back where you belong. with me.
Laura, I used up the last of the iodine.
Jason, this is
Hi,
Tom.
Jason.
Why, hello, Tom.
How are you?
Well, I didn't realize you were out here.
You know each other.
I studied with Mr. Forrest in New York.
Well, he's quite a talent.
Yes, he is.
You want to stay in for dinner?
Well, I don't know.
Why don't you?
Oh, you've got to. You've got to give the class the opportunity of meeting the first genius out of Broadway since Orson Welles. Hey, all of you beautiful people. Guess who's here?
After billing like that, how can I refuse?
Jason Forrest.
Who's that?
Now, the good actor respects the written word. He doesn't worship it, but he respects it. He studies it, he holds it up to the light. He searches for truth. He searches for fakery. He examines it as carefully as he can. And then, he swallows it whole and makes it his own.
Jason, I've watched you throw away dialogue and improvise an entire scene, and it was far more effective.
Oh, an exercise in class. I was simply trying to demonstrate that actors play attitudes. I wasn't putting down the author's words at all.
Jason, let's be more honest. Now, I've read scripts at the Century lot that were enough to make your hair turn white. They were really bad, Jason.
Well, sure. There's very little fine writing. Very little fine acting. Very little fine anything.
Then why not throw away the bad dialogue and improvise?
But why would that be any better? A good actor is not necessarily a good writer. No, this is a profession, Tom, not a game. And the profession demands written lines, especially in film, where there are the complex technical demands of the camera and the sound boom, where there have to be precisely timed movements, timed precisely to the dialogue. Now, improvisation obviously makes that practically impossible.
Hold on, oh great guru. What about the French film A Man and a Woman?
Oh, a number of superbly improvised scenes. There are exceptions. Oh, thank you. But you children, you have dialogue to learn, and you must learn it. Dig?
Dig. Question.
The teacher has a question.
Why not?
Is acting for the camera different than acting for a live audience? And if so, how is it different?
You are basically evil. That's a question that would take a few months to answer. Assuming, of course, that I knew the answer.
Marilyn Monroe once said her secret was making love to the camera lens.
And yet she studied her craft as diligently as anyone I've ever known.
That kind of leaves you out, doesn't it, Rachel?
Just because I don't scratch and mumble doesn't mean I don't study. I'm a method actress.
Now, there's no one way of working. Whichever way brings the best results is perfectly valid.
Them's my sentiments exactly.
Well, I'm glad we're agreed. You know, I used to coach an actor, a man who became quite well known, who had fantastic trouble improvising. Because, essentially, he was inarticulate. And he'd start every improvisation by taking a long pause and then saying, "Hi." You ever forget that opening night? Why, Broadway Hamlet. There you were, one seat in from the aisle, suffering. Ho, 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 how you suffered. Driving poor Walter Kerr right out of his mind. Leaning over his shoulder, trying to read his notes.
Well, he gave you a great review anyway.
All right. You win.
A win?
Well, I told you I had something really exciting in mind for you.
Yes, you did.
Well, I thought you wouldn't let me alone. Asking me what in the world it was, begging me.
I've been afraid to hear.
Well, I found a new play. And the leading role is perfect for you.
For me?
It's a way out piece, very today. by a new young author from off Broadway, Cafe Lamont.
Jason, I haven't acted in years.
Whose fault is that?
Fault? It's nobody's fault.
There are only a handful of actresses with your potential. Anne Bancroft, Julie Harris, Geraldine Page.
Lots of people have potential.
Laura's going to be a whole new life for us this time. My school runs itself. We're going to do our thing in the theater together. And this time, I'm going to make sure you get your chance. Oh, I'll have to talk about this later. I'm doing that set right now. It's a real wild play. Wait till you read it. Harry, what can I do? I'm me. Can I change that? Can I unscrew myself from life and replace myself with something better, like you replace a light bulb? I'm me. The innocent, the guilty, the poet, the lousy crud. Love me, hate me, what difference? I can't change myself. What else can I say, Harry? If you can't accept the package, you don't have to pay the charges. Cut. That's a print. Very nice, Bill. Jason. We'll move in for close-ups. It'll be a few minutes. Right. All right, let's push in. I want a 3-inch lens. Stand in for Jason, please.
Kevin.
Oh, hi, Sil.
For Mr. Bracken. Notes on the dailies.
Oh, thank you.
Hello there.
Glad to see you again, Mr. Forrest.
Yeah, that's great. He liked yesterday's work.
Hmm? Oh, yes, the dailies. Yes, he was very pleased, I know.
Yeah.
Laura thinks you're one of the greatest acting teachers there is, at least in America.
I'm not sure that Mr. Strasberg or Mr. Meisner would agree with it.
I've been watching you do the picture, and it's made me realize how much I have to learn.
Well, it never stops.
I was just wondering. I know you probably don't have the time, but...
Time for what?
Well, I'm kind of stuck with a scene I have to do in class.
And you want some help?
I guess it's a lot of nerve asking.
Not at all. I'd be delighted to help you.
And then he says, may I have the salt? And suddenly I'm 19 again, fresh out of Rock Falls, Maine. And we're walking arm in arm down 46th Street in the middle of a blizzard. I'm so happy and warm. The snow melts before it hits me.
I know. I suffer from flashbacks myself. I'm glad to see father and son at peace again.
Hi, movie star.
Hello, Dad.
Why didn't you tell me you were testing? I'd have gotten you my cameraman.
Oh, well,
Come on. Come on, sit down.
I wanted to surprise you.
Don't surprise me. This is a tough business. Accept my help.
What if I don't want to accept your help?
Being the offspring of a powerhouse is no joy, I know. My father used to work 34 hours a day, just like Ben's. Leaves very little time for family life.
I suppose not.
You grow up wondering if he really loves you or if he's just happy you could sit through his latest picture without having to go to the bathroom.
You sound like Ben Jr. now.
Laura, remember, wiping their noses isn't part of your job.
Are you sure this is the place you wanted to go to?
It's my favorite scene, man.
Table? Grovey.
All right, right this way. Now, we don't have a liquor license here, you know, but our specialty is Campechino.
Fine.
Is Ben working tonight?
Yes, he is, madam.
Oh, so that's why we're here.
Well, he had a fight with his father in the commissary this afternoon. I just want to make sure he's all right. Did I say something funny?
You don't have to say anything. You are funny.
What did I do?
Here we've both been sweating over a hot movie studio all day. So what do? For pleasure? You drag me to the movies.
I like movies.
And then afterwards, instead of suggesting some quiet spot with soft music, you bring me to this noise factory.
I'm sorry, Jason. Do you really mind that much?
Of course not. Oh, there's your little problem now. Go on, I'll explain.
I won't be long. Ben, I'd like to talk to you. Ben? Ben, where are you going?
I tried to call you tonight. You weren't home.
Oh, I thought you might have, and that's why I came.
It's too late now.
Too late.
I'm not going to make the test.
You're not good. Where can we go and talk?
I don't want to talk.
I do.
Through that door, there's an alley. I'll be out in a minute.
Ben, you didn't mean what you just said.
Yeah, I meant it. I don't want to have anything more to do with the talent school or the test. The whole thing was a favor to my father. It had nothing to do with me or my so-called talent. Some kind of a deal between him and Mr. Bracken.
Even if it was your father who got you into the class, what you've accomplished there has been your own doing.
What? What have I accomplished?
Well, think how you've grown, Ben.
Sure.
Ben, when you first came to the school... When you first came to the school, you were all closed up. You were inhibited to the point where you could barely talk. And now you've learned to free yourself, to use yourself as an actor. And you did it, Ben. No one else can take credit for it. It was all you.
I don't care. I'm going to London to stay with my mother and her new husband. They're a real circus.
Why don't you wait and see how your test turns out?
I told you, I don't want a test. I never started acting in the first place. It's some stupid psychological trap, trying to beat my father at his own game, prove that I'm a better man than he is. Forget it!
Ben! Are you so sure that's what it is?
What else is it?
Oh, you... No. You've known all along that your father got you into the studio. Why wait till now to get mad about it?
Maybe he just reminded me once too often.
I don't think that's what's disturbing you now. The truth is, you're scared.
Scared of what?
Of what, Ben? It happens to everyone. It's called stage fright. And there's no reason for you to be afraid. You've done your work and you've done it properly. I wouldn't allow you to test if I wasn't absolutely sure. You have every reason to feel secure. You know your scene perfectly, and I will be directing. Now, I'll see you on the set tomorrow morning at 7:30. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Good night, Ben.
Laura? I don't know what I'd do without you. Thanks.
Jason, I'm ready to go if you'd like.
Not till I have a try at that dance floor.
You?
Come on.
Oh, no. Oh, Jason.
I'm afraid I'm a complete New Yorker. Someday I'll learn how to drive one of these things.
I'll give you some lessons over the weekend.
Oh, we'll talk about it then. Good night, Tom.
Jason. You know you can stay out at the beach. I have a guest room.
Oh, that sounds marvelous. But, isn't it a little far from the studio?
I drive it every morning.
Well, the thing is, we have so much night shooting coming up, and we'll be working at all hours. Besides, it's in my contract that the studio has to provide me with a car and a driver to take me back and forth, and I intend to take advantage of that. But we'll talk about that over the weekend, too. Good night again, Tom. And drive safely.
I will. Night.
Your key, Mr. Forrest? Mr. Forrest?
No, thanks. Would you call me a taxi cab, please?
Certainly, Mr. Forrest.
I thought you'd like to do a little more work on your scene.
Thank you. It's very thoughtful of you. But I already did the scene in class this morning.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me. How did it go?
Everybody said it was the best work I'd ever done. Little did they know it was thanks to you.
Don't mention it. When's your next scene?
Bugging me, man.
Look, boy, all I'm trying to do is to help you.
Just leave me alone.
You asked for my advice, didn't you? I mean, I didn't volunteer anything, did I?
No.
You're not sensitive, little brother. You're fragile.
And you're not? Hey, Eddie, please, don't leave. You love me, brother?
What do you mean? Sure, I love you. You're my little brother. Oh, man, you're something else.
Something else? What?
Forget it.
No, I won't forget it. Just because I love my brother and I'm not afraid to say it, there's something wrong with that? Does that make me sick? The trouble with you is you can't accept love. You wouldn't know it if it walked up and shook hands with you. You're the one that's something else, something cold, without any feelings, without any heart.
Good. Let's get this test on film. First positions, please.
This'll be a take.
Ready? Roll it, please.
Rolling. Test number 47. Take one. Speed.
Action.
Quit bugging me, man.
Look, all I'm trying to do, boy, is to help you.
Just leave me alone.
You asked for my advice, right? I didn't volunteer anything, did I?
Cut. Miss Cabot, you're standing in the actor's line of sight.
Don't get excited, honey. I'm only trying to see that my kid gets a fair shake.
Well, I think that the best thing you can do for your son right now is to stand to one side. He lost his concentration when he found himself looking at his father.
Don't tell me.
You shut up! Just shut up!
Ben! Ben, stop.
Well, what are you going to do with kids these days, huh?
I had no idea he was on the set.
Couldn't stay away.
Now, don't compound his mistakes. You can't just run away like a kid who doesn't want to play.
You ruined it for me just like he always does.
Now, look, Ben. More is involved here than you and your father. A lot of other people's time and talents are tied up in this test, not to mention the money that it's costing the studio. Now, I want you to go back in there and finish what you started.
I can't.
Ben, if you leave now, I may not be able to get you another test.
I don't care.
Well, Laura Dean, you win a few, you lose a few.
Listen to that surf. That's my idea of soul music. I don't often get a chance to hear it. You know, I usually have a house full. But not this weekend. All flags are down. No students, no studio problems. Nothing but us. Oh, Jason. What a beautiful play.
Eggs Benedict coming up. With Canadian bacon. So you like it, huh?
Like it. It's the most exciting concept I've ever read. And the language.
Too much language for my taste, but that's between me and the author. How about the part?
It's gorgeous. But do you really think I'm up to it?
I'll get a superb performance out of you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Jason? Have I changed any in the last 3 years? You haven't said.
Your hair's a bit done.
Really? Oh. Anyhow, I didn't mean that way. I meant as a person. As a woman.
Yes, you have changed.
How?
You're even more delectable now.
3 years older.
And 3 years wiser.
I wonder. How about you? Have you changed?
Perhaps not as much as I would like to.
I suppose they get younger as you get older, huh? I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't make excuses for myself, Laura. Though I've tried to explain to you before. I've only loved one woman in my life. You. That hasn't changed.
Mr. Bracken has decided to drop the option on the council. Yes, he does. He does. He still thinks it's a beautiful book. But we already have 2 pictures with courtroom backgrounds, so... Right. Good luck with it, Bobby. Bye.
I got your message.
Good. Laura, I wanted to talk to you about Ben Jr. I'm very concerned about him. Mr. Bracken asked about his test. I didn't tell him what happened. I just said he took ill in the middle of it. But what is the story?
As far as I know, he's given up for good.
Just like that?
I haven't spoken to him since.
You mean you didn't try to reach him over the weekend?
Sylvia, I didn't think about him or anyone else this weekend.
Well, that doesn't sound like Big Mama.
I wasn't being Big Mama, and it was lovely.
Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Am I interrupting?
No, not at all. Sit down.
Did you have a good weekend?
Very nice. And you?
Spent most of my time waiting by the telephone.
Oh, you can't get a suntan that way.
You can if you've got a sun lamp.
Rachel, you're a charming, talented girl.
Oh, thanks.
You're going to be a big star. And if I've helped you in any way, it's been my pleasure.
Oh, I see. We're looking back at it now like it was something that was.
I think we both gained something.
Oh, we have. We definitely have.
They're ready for you, Mr. Forrest.
Thanks, Fred.
Well, Tide and Century Pictures wait for no man, so I guess I'll be going.
Rachel, you're not hurt.
Be hurt? I wouldn't think of it. Let's talk about Jason.
Pardon me, ladies.
Go ahead. Talk about Jason.
He gets around, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Really?
Rachel, I don't like this.
He stopped by my apartment the other night.
I can understand that. He's a simple New York boy. He likes good home cooking.
He stopped by my apartment about a half an hour after you left him at the hotel.
Let me tell you what happened. Jason suggested that perhaps you'd like a little more work on some of your scenes.
Talked about that, about my scenes, for approximately 10 seconds.
All right, you've told me.
He's what I need, and apparently I'm what he needs. So whatever plans you have, I think you better change them.
You're lying, dear. He's walked away from you, hasn't he? Tell me, what did you expect?
You know what worries me? Is that after an experience like Jason, I'm going to become just as cynical as you.
Jason doesn't corrupt. He just knows where the corruption is. He goes right to it.
I brought you some iodine. I used all of yours.
Thanks, Tom. But you didn't drive all the way out to the beach for this.
Well, I figured maybe you'd want someone to watch TV with.
That's sweet of you, Tom, but I'm all right.
Well, who said you weren't?
Thanks anyway.
Wow, you're really something else. You just won't let anybody pay you back for anything, will you?
Well, you don't owe me anything.
I'll make that decision. If it weren't for you, Laura, I wouldn't have anything. No studio contract, nothing. And that's only the beginning. Who do I go to every time I get uptight? You. Who does everyone always go to? You. But who do you go to when you get uptight? Laura, all I'm trying to say is
I know what you're trying to say, Tom, and I appreciate it very much.
But you want to be left alone. Okay, just remember, anytime you need a friend.
I know, I've got one.
Good night.
Night, Tom. Hello?
Hello, Laura. It's Ben. Listen, I talked to Sylvia. She said I could make another test. I'm supposed to leave for London tomorrow. I promised my mother. She's already made all the arrangements. I've got to talk to you. I don't know what to do. Look, I'm at the discotheque. Can you meet me here? I told Sylvia that I'd let her know.
I'll call you back.
Laura? Wait. Laura?
Are you all right?
Yes?
Oh. May I come in?
Of course.
I thought you were supposed to pick me up.
I left the studio in a hurry.
Oh. You weren't here when I phoned.
I took a swim.
That occurred to me. So I took a cab out. Aren't you going to answer that?
No.
Hey, man, table 6 needs a check. Okay.
What is it, Laura?
Rachel was very upset this afternoon.
Oh?
It seems she took you seriously.
I think she knew better.
You hurt her. And she tried to hit back, so she let me know about the two of you.
Rachel knows what she's doing at all times.
You're twice her age.
And 100 times more susceptible.
You mean you're the same as you were before? You couldn't help yourself then, and you can't help yourself now.
Laura, I promise you, when we're in New York, working together in the play, when you're back in my life, it won't be the same.
Jason, I admire your talent and yes, I love you very, very much. If only that were enough.
Give me time, Laura.
How could I live like that again, always wondering which young girl it was this time? Turning into a suspicious, nagging shrew. That's what I ran away from last time.
Perhaps you were just waiting for me to slip. So you'd have the chance to reject me.
What?
To reject the challenge of going back to New York to work as an actress again?
I don't think that's true.
Isn't it?
No.
Haven't you always been afraid of facing an audience? That's why you stayed in the classroom. First as a star pupil, and then as a teacher. You can't fail in the classroom. Isn't that why you go on teaching now? Instead of proving yourself the only way an actress can, by acting?
I teach because I like to teach.
So do I. But I'm careful not to let it claim me totally.
I get a good deal out of it.
Of course you do. We're all in love with you. Each in our own way. All good teachers are. But you're pouring everything into them. They've become your children. Your substitute lover, your entire reason for being. Where's it going to lead? They'll drain you dry and then go off to lives of their own. 1 class, 10 classes, 20 classes. What then, Laura? What about you? Where's your reward? Take a chance. Come with me to New York. Accept me as I am. Help me, Laura. Let me help you.
Hello? Oh, yes, Ben, I'm sorry. I couldn't talk before. Yes, I'll come. The discotheque. Yes. Not at all. Goodbye, Ben. He needs to talk to me.
You're going to meet him?
Yes.
Sounds like you've made some kind of decision.
I have.
I hope it's the best for you.
Jason, there's probably a good deal of truth in what you said about my being a classroom actress, but I find myself unable to get disturbed about it. What's here, what I'm doing now, this is what I want to do. If I'm spending too much time on my classes, I'm getting back something I never had before. A sense of real accomplishment. Yes. Satisfaction. And most of all, perhaps, the feeling of being needed.
And you're going to be content to live vicariously through those kids the rest of your life?
That doesn't necessarily follow. The good thing about seeing you again is being reminded that I'm still a woman. I don't think I'll forget that anymore. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to change. Goodbye, Jason.
Goodbye, Laura.
Oh, Sylvia, that's marvelous. Yeah. Oh, thanks for calling, Sylvia. Bye-bye. Ben? Mr. Bracken just flipped over your test. Sylvia Caldwell just told me he's got his eye on you for a small part in a TV pilot. There's not many lines, but... Oh, Ben, I'm so pleased for you.
Oh, man. Oh. Hey, Ben, you know, we have an old tradition here. The second a student from the New Talent School gets his first professional job, he's got to wash away his amateur status. And he's got to wash it away in the grand old Pacific Ocean. And I just made up that tradition right now. Right now.
Laura, about Jason. I wanted to hurt him, and instead I hurt you. It was silly, and it was childish, and I'm sorry.
We all have experiences to go through, Rachel. And lessons to learn from them. Now, the whole thing with Jason is over. For both of us. And I want you to forget it.
Rather not. Forget it, that is. I'd rather take another piece of advice you gave us in class. To remember the experience and to use it as an actress someday.
Oh, Rach. You'll do exactly that, won't you?